My name is Jacob Veritas, and I am a fantasy and sci-fi writer. I grew up in San Diego, and I went to San Diego State University, majored in television, film, and new media. I'm of Filipino descent, so most of my cousins are like nurses and lawyers and doctors. I am the rebellious one in the family. Yeah, I'm more in tune with computers and cameras and software instead of blood and medical stuff and medicine. No disrespect to people who are nurses and doctors and healthcare workers. You guys are great. You guys are superheroes. I could never do something like that. I've always enjoyed being creative ever since I was a kid. So there we go. So this is a little embarrassing because I started writing when I was so bored in math class. Like, they put me in the advanced classes when I was only in my freshman year of high school, and it was so boring. So whenever they would do a lecture on the board, I would write down short stories or outlines, and that's how it started. When you're starting your first draft, turn off your urge to edit. I still struggle with this one because I kind of have like OCD, and sometimes it's really hard to just write without criticizing your like grammar or how the words look. But the thing is, first drafts are usually just worry about editing after. And the other thing I do is make a character Bible with all the details regarding your characters, you know, their age, gender, background, all of that. So you can have a reference point to look at instead of trying to remember everything or be constantly like flipping back to old chapters. And there's a tool I use called Pro Writing Aid. It's an AI tool that helps you make your writing more concise. Book 3, The Book of Eric, is much more violent than the first two books, and it takes place mostly off campus, where Eric is a White House intern. He's one of the lead interns for President Riley, and we're going up against a evil political like couple who have magic, and there's going to be global implications in that. So the best word I can describe the book is apocalyptic. It's really dark, and I think you have to be comfortable with the idea of nuance, because everything is not just black and white. I think most people will be satisfied with the ending. I like writing action scenes, and before I do, I listen to like video game soundtracks, like boss music from Mario or Pokemon. That usually helps me like get pumped up to write battle scenes. I kind of get into the vibe just by listening to the music. And I don't know how other authors do it, but that's how I do it. So yeah, like when I'm writing action scenes, I have to listen to music first. For emotionally draining scenes, I have to listen to like the dramatic music. So I've written House of Soul Alpha book 0, 1, 2, and I'm working on 3 right now. So I'm going to have at least 4 books in the series. And I would have to say book 2, The Book of David, is my favorite one. It was a challenge to write because there was 3 different timelines that I had to adhere to. So there was the present day stuff that happened in 1969 and some tragic stuff that happened in 1869. So I had to make sure the three timelines connected to each other. And that was kind of a balancing act that I had to contend with. Yeah, book 2 is definitely my favorite. I identify a lot with David as a character. My favorite character, let's see. This is so hard to choose. Okay, so right now, my favorite characters are David Lumino and Jax Honor Amore. David's this serious, hardworking Gen Z who's a perfectionist. He works all the time, super smart and super good looking. Jax is this rigid boomer who has some built up trauma and thinks all his decisions are correct. And both of them are super competitive Asians. They tend to butt heads, but they have the best interests for each other as fraternity brothers. So yeah, David and Jax are my favorite characters right now. So when it's made into a movie, I would like Eric Nam or Ben Wang to play as David Lumino. For the villain, I'd like Cameron Monaghan to play Brian DeCronos. It would be great if Tilda Swinton played Shelley. That's like a dream. For Micah, so Micah's character, he's very versatile, so I would think he's this college student who's kind of forced into a leadership position he's not ready for. I don't know about Micah yet. I don't have a specific person in mind. I think for Preston Lupin, I'd like to see Daniel J. Edwards to play Preston Lupin. He's a Korean-American actor who usually voices like anime characters and video game characters. You might have heard of him in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see who else. I think Gavin Leatherwood would enjoy playing Eric, with the lightning out of the fingertips and the telekinesis. Because I've seen him before in Sabrina on Netflix. When I write books, I need to be completely focused. I can't multitask while writing books or it becomes half-assed. I have white noise or Baroque classical music in the background constantly playing when I write. I like to write while being fasted and caffeinated. I drink a lot of Celsius and coffee. And I tend to do my best work on weekend mornings and late at nights, especially late at nights because, there won't be any interruptions or calls or text messages. I turn off all of my notifications basically at night, except for family and fraternity brothers. So yeah, I like to write when I can hyper focus. I'm not really a outdoors person, so I'm not going to pretend to, I love hiking or I love camping. I really, really don't like the outdoors, but I do cook a lot. I like visiting restaurants and movie theaters. And yeah, I see all these people who say that they like the outdoors, and I'm like, really? Like, why would you pretend to be homeless on your day off? Give me air conditioning and food, okay? And indoor bathroom and showers and baths, okay? So I went to San Diego State and I joined Sigma Nu. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. I met my best friends. Their names are David and Ever. If I hadn't met them, I'd probably be in a dark place right now. And I want to say thank you to them for supporting me in my crazy rants and all these craziness that they've had to deal with throughout the years ever since we graduated. They've been there for me a lot and put up with my so thank you so much. I don't really like partying, like the loud parties. I like birthday parties, barbecues, dinner parties, luncheons, fundraiser parties. I just don't like the boom, 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 boom type parties. I prefer class over bass. And yeah, I like people, just not the crazy shit people do. So if you're still in college or you're going to be in college, I suggest joining a fraternity. I highly encourage it. You have this close-knit support system that many men today are lacking and unfortunately has been leading to an increase of mental illness. It's not all just drinking and being stupid. That's what you see on television and in movies. You can do all that without joining a fraternity. So if you are just planning on doing that, I suggest you don't join. And when you're rushing, go ahead and find a fraternity that matches your values and holds you accountable to your goals. My family has been involved in Greek life for generations, and I hope that my future children will continue the tradition too. I am on social media. You can go to jacobveritas.com and all of my links will be on there. I do try to answer every question that I can. Just be patient and respectful. I will eventually get to your message.